My heart's broken. We just got the second Rangers Manchester United game of the Champions League. First half was definitely Manchester United's game, but they didn't get it all their own way, and the second half was ours. We absolutely dominated ball every which way you can in the second half until the final 10 minutes. Couple of mistakes from us, to be perfectly honest with you, but for the most part, 35 minutes of that second half was ours absolutely dominantly. But again, we couldn't pull the trigger when it counted, and again, we couldn't get one in the net when it counted, and again, we just couldn't get the job done. And it came back to haunt us. Manchester United for the final 10 minutes took control again, played brilliant football, and then there was a foul by Naismith that was just absolutely vicious. Can't complain about the penalty. It was due. It was valid penalty, no question. And Rooney put it in the net, and heartbroken I sit here because that's it. Europa League's what we're looking at. That's it. Champions League's over for another season, and as of next season, we've got to qualify for it. But by the way, yes, I do think we're going to win the league, so it will be us trying to qualify for the Champions League, by the way. Sorry, Celtic. That's just the way it's going to be. But considering the performance we gave in the second half, seriously, to lose 1-0 on a penalty is a heartbreaker and a half. I'm really let down. But it just feels as, Valencia went over to Bursaspor and gubbed them 6-1, I think. Bursaspor, that's going to be easy. We're going to be really riled up after what's happened tonight, and if you wear your home strip, which is somewhat familiar to Rangers fans, shall we say, it'll be like waving a red flag in front of a bull. So, Bursaspor in a fortnight, wouldn't want to be you, to be perfectly honest. Now, cutting down to the Survivor Series. It was an okay pay-per-view, to be perfectly honest. Kicked off with US title match, DiBiase versus Bryan Daniel. 10 minutes, but it really didn't feel like 10 minutes. It felt a lot quicker. The two worked well enough together. There's some neat offence from DiBiase Jr. Give the match 3 stars. Bryan won by tap out. Decent little starter. We then got hype of Sheamus and John Morrison, which has been really lame. It's more been Sheamus, Santina. The whole John Morrison thing's been secondary. Again, decent match, but nothing spectacular. I still think Starship Pain's a great move, but not a good finisher. He needs another finisher so that he can convince as a top level competitor. Finishing his matches with Starship Pain just doesn't work. This was solid work from both guys, but the end just came out of nowhere. It was really weird. It didn't feel right. But giving John Morrison the win, I suppose, good. Seriously, management needed to talk him into getting a new finisher. Nothing personal. Keep Starship Pain by all means, but as an intermediate move during the match, you need something more convincing for your finisher, I'm afraid. John Morrison gets the pin. 2.5 stars, I'd say. Then we had the Intercontinental title match, Dolph Ziggler versus Caval. Ziggler had been on Twitter up to this saying he was going to carry Caval. No, I don't think so. Other way around. Not a particularly great match, to be perfectly honest with you. I expected something better. It really did move quite slowly a lot of the time. And this was another 10 minutes dead match. What was it with getting this dead on the minute mark? Ziggler cheated to win. He retained the Intercontinental title. Nothing special, nothing horrendous either though. But we then got a great classic Survivor Series match. Team Rey Mysterio versus Team Alberto Del Rio. Some great work from all the guys involved here. Really liked it. Del Rio, not surprisingly, got eliminated from the... Well, he didn't get pinned or submitted, but he did get injured, so they had to drag him off. I guess it was either that or he was going to storm off in his team in the Huff, which is his gimmick, I suppose. Really surprised they got rid of MVP so quick, considering the pop he was getting from the hometown crowd. And I think MVP has dramatically improved over the last year or so. I used to think the guy was vastly overrated, but I now rate the guy. I think he really is good, and I really think they should be pushing him. But this was good. This went 19 minutes, which was a bit more like it. And yeah, not the best Survivor Series match I've ever seen, but still pretty good. And ends up with Rey and Big Show winning. I'll give that one 4 stars. Got a advert for tables, ladders, and chairs, and then we got the Unified Divas title match: Natalia versus Layla and Michelle. Absolute pants. I mean, I've said it before and I'll say it again. WWE waking up. The divas you have now got can do great matches if you'll give them 10 minutes to play about with it, okay? 4 minutes of absolute nonsense here. Michelle McCool taps out to the sharpshooter. Yeah, you know, nothing match. Natalia's the new champion, big deal. And I'm a heart mark, you know. But even I'm saying big deal on this one. Leiko tried to boot the SmackDown on Natalia after the match, and all of a sudden the Glamazon makes a return. Wonder how long it'll be before Beth Phoenix turns heel on Natalia, or vice versa. Next up, world title match, or world heavyweight title match, Edge versus Kane. This has been lame. They had been doing this whole gimmick with Edge being anti-stupid. If he saw anything stupid taking place on WWE TV, he was bringing it down, making a fuss about it, trying to make the programming more sensible, and then he gets involved in this whole Paul Bearer abduction storyline, which has been absolutely pathetic. The match wasn't much better. I really did think these two guys would have a decent match. I was very, very disappointed in what they delivered. The ending was really stupid. The double pin. Double pin, so Kane's still the champion. No, double pin, you restart the match. Really dodgy match. 1 star. These two guys are capable of much better. I know Kane's had bad match after bad match with The Undertaker, but he's usually good against other guys. Edge is usually reliable. I don't know what on earth went wrong here. It was dire. Video for WrestleMania, and then we had the Nexus versus Santino and Vladimir Kozlov, and again this was bad. 5 minutes of absolute nonsense, sloppy, confused, muddled. 1.5 stars, I would say, probably 1 actually. Not particularly good. We then got the WWE title match. Not a bad match at all, but I've seen better. I expected better. It was more about Cena's refereeing than it was about the two of them wrestling. 1, 2, 3. Orton wins at 15 minutes. The average stuff, 2.5. I'll give it. It was more the fact that Cena played it fair, and Cena got fired at the end. So overall, the pay-per-view, I would say 3 stars. Nothing brilliant, nothing horrendous overall, but it had its moments of good and it has its moments of bad. But to be honest, the Raw the following night was actually 1,000 times better. Not from a match perspective, because I thought the matches that were on Raw on Monday were pretty hokey, but they did a brilliant farewell speech from John Cena, and I'm convinced this is part of an angle. I'm going to be really annoyed if it is, because the way he did his farewell speech was so convincing and so well done. It is the kind of speech you should only give if you are genuinely retiring. Don't use it as part of an angle. But it was really well played out on Monday Raw. I would say that Raw on Monday was better than the Survivor Series, like I say, not from a match standpoint, but from a booking standpoint. I thought it was superb. And it was brilliant the way, boom, they did the Money in the Bank cash in. I did want Miz to be the first guy to cash in Money in the Bank and not win. That didn't happen. He came out after the rematch between Orton and Barrett and cashed it in and won. But what you're going to do? It'll be interesting to see how they go with how they do things with Miz as the champ.